Good morning. It is Sunday morning. I have received my little reminder to go through my chart and to mark up some key levels that may interest me in the next week. I've noticed a couple of mistakes that I made towards the end of last week in marking up my charts. I'd like to go in and fix that. I'm recording this, one, to keep myself accountable. Two, I think it's going to be really cool to look back at and see how perhaps my charts change over time, and the way that I analyze charts may change over time. And three, I find this quite interesting when I watch people mark up their charts. So perhaps somebody may find this interesting. This is in no means, this is not advice. This is not me trying to teach you anything, nothing like that. This is come be nosy and have a look at my charts while I mark them up on a beautiful Sunday morning here in New Zealand. And I really want to stress that I am a beginner and I am not funded. I'm working my way through a prop firm challenge. I've passed stage 1 and I'm currently working in stage 2. And when I pass stage 2, then I will become a funded trader through prop firms. I don't put any of my personal money into trading at the moment. I prefer to put my personal money into stocks and shares, your more traditional way of investing, I guess you could say. However, trading is something that I find really interesting. I also have a very creative mind. I enjoy the fact that a lot of this is pattern recognition. And this is something I feel like my brain is quite strong at. So I'm going to start recording this. Pop my little microphone just here. You may hear birdies and cicadas. These are the sounds of a Kiwi summer. So enjoy them in the background. Sorry if they are intense. Awesome. So this is the gold US dollar chart in the 1 hour time frame. And you can see that I have only a couple of indicators on here. I have the adaptive moving average here, so that it is showing me the average of what's happening. I don't use this as an indicator as to when to get into trades or when to get out of trades or anything like that. I just find it an interesting indicator to have. The second indicator I have is the trading session. Because I live in New Zealand, it's not the most opportunistic time zone to live in. We get to trade the Asian market, the beginning of the London session. I do not stay up for the New York session. I prioritize my sleep too much. The New York session for me is too volatile to kind of set up a trade and then go to sleep. I did that at the beginning of my trading journey when I was doing sim accounts, and it was not wise. I blew many sim accounts on the New York session. So I have these indicators on more out of curiosity. When I'm in the markets, when the markets are running, I can see the crossover between the Asia session and the London session, because there tends to be an injection of volume at that time. Yeah. If I just going to zoom out to the monthly time frame, it looks a bit crazy. Those of you that are trendline traders will probably be like, oh yeah, no, yep, gold will look like that. I'm just coming just to double check that my points are still in line. Perfect. So as you can see, what this is showing is that we are in a upward trending market. And I mean, if you follow gold at all, you would have seen that at the end of 2025, it hit a new all-time high. Reached a new all-time high. Woo! Great for if you have actually invested into gold. Really challenging if you are trying to day trade gold at the moment. And especially with it being the beginning of the year, I'm noticing that it is really quite unpredictable. So perfect. I'm quite comfortable where my upward trend lines are. And as you'll see here, I need to move my downward trend. Towards the end of the last week, on the 9th, we actually broke through that line. So now this line can be moved. So we had a 1, 2, 3. We had a 3 touch point break. This would have been an indicator to get into the buy. I was not paying attention to the markets then. So I missed that. And that's fine because I was out enjoying my life. I've been playing this week with fair value gaps. I was back testing it purely more out of curiosity that when you have these higher highs or you have these lower lows, what happens when price comes back into those places? Now, I used to use this just by having my line. So I used to mark these up by like, oh, it reached a new time low. I'd put that there. And I'd put this line here. And I'd put this line here. Or probably not. I would have here, etc. And I found that doing this, my charts just became really overloaded and the price would come to a line and I no longer knew what that line meant. So that's when I started doing a little bit of research into fair value gap. Yes, fair value gap. I thought it was correct. I was looking at this chart this morning and I recognized that I placed this one in the wrong place. It should have been, these should be marked up in this area here. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to zoom in and we're going to come back to here. So I'm in the 1 hour time frame. I tend to mark these up in the 1 hour time frame. And I tend to, if I place a trade, work more in the 1 minute time frame or the 5 minute time frame. I would love to be able to be a swing trader. To be a swing trader requires a fair bit of capital. So that's something that I need to build and work up to. And therefore, I got to spend some time in the smaller time frames. We're going to move this over to our new point. I'd be interested in this candle, starting on this candle here. For those of you who have a broker that links up to TradingView, I am so incredibly jealous. My prop firm does not link up to TradingView, unfortunately, so I do all of my market analysis in MetaTrader 5, which is that. Let's leave it at that. So I'm going to bring this up here. I'm quite comfortable with that being there. And therefore, this is our new fair value gap. So I'm going to take the higher high of this one here, and I'm going to take the higher low of this candle here, candle 1, 2, 3. And we show that as it touched into this, it rejected. It's a question whether it's going to break, like come into this again and then reject. This is just an interesting key level to observe, I think. And then I have the same one down here as well. I don't want to draw a new upward trend. This week I'd placed some short orders and they didn't go so well. I didn't have the best week this week as the start to the second part of the two-step challenge. I've been having this mindset of like, oh, I can catch the dip and oh, I can profit from the dip, and I can't. There's not enough information going on at the moment with the strategies that I use for me to really effectively do that and execute that well. I would be looking for buys this week, I would say. I guess what might be interesting is watching if price moves into this area again, if it's going to cross this line, in which case that could indicate a buy. It could come back, bounce back, and it could retrace. It could come back to around about this level. It's hard to read. That's me being really honest. It's hard to read at the moment. So I'm going to place an alert when it comes close to this line. Perfect. So once price comes up and reaches 4,515, I'm going to get a little alert. What's also an interesting level is this one here. So it came up and it touched this price of 4,484 and then got rejected, came down, and then we broke through it, came up, touched this line, and then we came back and we retested this level. And I would be interested to see whether, if the price heads back down that way, what then will happen. If price is to just go, which I don't think will happen, I'm going to put a marker here. So I've got 3 alerts set to the 1 hour time frame. So yeah, I have my 3 alerts set. I'm going to be alerted if this goes, if price continues to go up. I'm going to be alerted if price comes down and retests this level here. And I'm going to be alerted if price comes down and meets this trend line that I've placed. And that's really it. That is me marking up my charts ready for the week. I hope that if you have watched all of this, that you enjoyed it and you enjoyed my ramblings. And I hope wherever you are in the world that you are having a beautiful day or a beautiful evening or a beautiful existence wherever you are. And yeah, good luck out there. We're all in the soup of it together. All right. Peace out. Bye.